Good afternoon, everyone. We'll get started here in about 2 minutes. If you guys have any questions or want to put something in the chat, feel free. I'll be checking throughout the webinar and happy to answer any things you guys might want to talk about. I'm also going to allow you guys to talk if you'd like. So if you have a question, we can stop right when you have it. All right, it's 2 o'clock. We'll give everyone just another minute or two, and then we'll join. All right, we'll get started now. So thank you for joining us for this ecomedes USGBC CEU on finding and selecting better materials. Today we're going to cover a platform that we've built to make that easier for you guys. My name is Paul Shariari. I'm a founder and chief innovation officer here at ecomedes. We are dedicated to making sustainable decision-making a little easier and also more data-driven. So we've spent a lot of time in this industry across our entire team, focused on trying to do this work for owners, for architects, for engineers and contractors, and then serving a lot of the manufacturers. And what our goal was with this platform is to make it really, really automated and allow you to have more time to actually tackle some of the bigger problems that we have when we're trying to make buildings more sustainable and more high performance. So we are going to be recording this after the session. We'll be able to send it out to you guys. I've allowed you all to talk if you'd like. If you want to ask a question, feel free to unmute yourselves and ask a question. But if you're not speaking, please mute yourself out so we don't have to hear your background noise. Any questions or you want to interact, chat and QA is open. This is one GBCI general CEU available for the folks of you that have a LEED AP certificate. And you guys want to keep your accreditation up. It's 1 hour of CE credits towards LEED AP, BD, and C. So the objectives are to give you a little bit of background on the USGBC's Better Materials platform, how it was constructed to grab the certification data and make it easier for you guys to make material selections during projects. We're going to streamline that by showcasing to you how the Verified for LEED program works. It's a pilot that they started last year. It takes actual data directly from the manufacturer and has GBCI reviewers take a look at it on your behalf and then give you back the feedback as if a project team was actually looking at it at the GBCI at the end of construction. So you can actually use that to make better data-driven decisions on the front end. We'll review a couple of the credits that we automate inside of our platform. And then we'll actually go through the actual platform that ecomedes has created to support better materials and show you how you can discover better building materials, meeting your sustainability goals, conduct comparisons of those sustainable building products, analyze energy and water impact of building materials, and finally, automate all the documentation for LEED projects. So that's work that I did for the first about 10 years of my work life, and we wanted to make it fully automated. So all that stuff that we used to do by hand will automatically be optimized for you, and you can get it in one click. So really excited to share this tool with you guys today and show you how you can start using it today to make better decisions on your projects. So the Better Materials Program, the reason why the USGBC started this program a couple of years ago is they wanted to focus on 3 main things. They wanted to accelerate the adoption of LEED, simplify the actual work that it takes to do these projects, and ultimately unlock a lot of scale, because the work that it takes to evaluate products is pretty complicated. I used to be a LEED faculty member nearly part of my career, and I trained about 15,000 people around the world on how LEED works. And I would spend around 7 hours at some usual like motel near the airport, a Hampton Inn or so, kind of know the kind of room I'm talking about, no windows, some drapes, a drop ceiling, maybe a little divider wall. Sometimes it was 10 people, sometimes it was over 150 people, all sitting in a room with no windows for 7 hours, learning about how the 72 or 85 credits at the time were being evaluated and the kind of work that they would have to do as homework during the design and construction process. So not a lot of fun in those kind of rooms, but try to keep it light and keep people moving. So what we try to do with this program is UHBC asked, how can we better accelerate the process and get simplification and scalability? And I truly believe that that is really the unlock for us to meet the challenges of the built environment. The way that it worked is that GBCI would ask us for data, and project teams would go out there and get data together. And a lot of project teams would go right to the product manufacturer or use one of many different sites out there to go find product data. And there's a lot of different sites out there. Some are run by certifiers, some are just technology platforms, some are technology platforms that just host the data and kind of are a bulletin board. Some actually actively work with product manufacturers and present the data in a certain way. And some actually only focus on a very narrow band of sustainability data. And this was a repetitive process and it took a lot of time. And as the USGBC kind of dove into this diagram, they said, let's do some research around how complicated are all these dotted lines. What they found was pretty shocking. On average, a project team has to access at least 25 pages of documentation and interpret up to 45 different parameters. And this is repeated for every single product. And I'll share with you guys a little factoid later in the presentation, but that's a lot of effort. You know, think about how many product categories we have on a project, maybe 150, maybe 500. So you're doing this work and you're getting hundreds and hundreds of PDFs that a lot of times just end up being downloaded and thrown on your desktop into that gigantic big mess we call our desktop. So either we have lots of tabs open or we have lots of PDFs floating around our hard drive. So when the UHBC said, well, we got to make this a little easier, they asked a bunch of us to kind of get in a room and say, well, how can we make this process easier? And similar to how we use Expedia or Travelocity or whatever travel site you use, what they said is, what if we actually had one search engine at the GBCI level for better materials, and it basically pinged all the different databases that are out there and also grab data from product manufacturers? What if we could have this one search bar go out and search all the other sites? Kind of like when you go to Travelocity, it's going to search all the hotel sites, all the rental car sites for you. That's essentially the first idea that they had. And that's kind of what we launched with the Better Materials solution. There's a single URL, bettermaterials.gbci.org. You can put in your search criteria in there. And what it's going to do is it's going to then ping all of their data partners, which we're one of at ecomedes. It'll search out all these different websites to go grab data that's aligned with whatever your search query was. It's not a perfect solution because we all have different databases, different amounts of data, but nonetheless, it saves you from having to go to all 5 of those search bars on our sites and actually press the button. So essentially, if you typed in flooring here in GBCI site, you're going to get a flooring query respondent back from ecomedes, back from Spot, back from Origin, back from Material Scout, and back from Sustainable Minds. So all that will be done with one click, and then you'll basically have a toolbar at the top that'll have little tabs for you to jump into whatever the results. Today, we're going to talk about the platform that we built at ecomedes, and we'll share with you how that platform works and how it supports decision-making at a credit-by-credit level. So verified for LEED is another part of this process that they said, well, what if we could actually go and verify the documentation at GBCI? So what if we took the information from the manufacturer, had a GBCI review team look at it, and then organize it into a single sheet of compliance? So the Verified for LEED program was a pilot between the USGBC, GBCI, and several manufacturers to make that LEED compliance and credit contributions already indicated by an actual reviewer. Instead of it just being the raw data being analyzed, it's actually a reviewer, an actual person did the review. You'll get a little timestamp at the top, and you'll actually have a document that you could submit to LEED Online or whoever you need to hand the documentation off to. So today what we're going to talk about is exactly how that support platform resides on the ecomedes platform. The URL that we'll be talking about is materialsforleed.ecomedes.com. No need for www. I just type that in. I put it in the chat, so if you have 2 monitors, you can kind of drop right into it and go check it out. And we're going to do a platform orientation, really quickly kind of orientate you to the credits that we support. And then we'll go into a live demo, and I'll open it up for any questions you guys might want me to do in a live demo and kind of show you the ins and outs of the tool. To start off with, it's a free platform. Our platform does not cost anything. If you create an account, it's there just to save your work, so you can save your homework when you have multiple projects at once. You can save all the projects you build out in the platform. It's free. It's made for anyone on the project. It's not just for architects or engineers. It's for anyone answering the question, is this work that I'm doing LEED aligned? Is the product that I'm selling LEED aligned? Is the product that I make LEED aligned? Or is the product that I've just installed LEED aligned? All that stuff is going to be documented for you. We curate the product database of LEED compliant products. So on this URL, you only will find products that have at least one piece of data aligned with one of the LEED credits in the credit requirements. We have certification and eco-label data that's pulled into our database. We have over 80 different sources of that data. It's directly from the certifying body or the eco-label, and on a monthly basis, that data is being updated. Not all in the same day, it's not all in the first. A lot of data sets kind of update throughout the month, but if you ever hover over the data, I'll show you, it'll tell you the source of the data and the timestamp. So that was the last time that data from that source was updated, and it's item by item, not on entire products. Some products have 7 or 8 different data sources all merged into one through our back end. It's a simple product data discovery setup, much like Amazon or something like that. If you can follow through with that process, you can definitely use ecomedes. Not a lot of training. If your firm does want some training, be happy to do it. It's a 30-minute kind of orientation, similar to what we're doing now, teach you how to use the tool, how to build a project. It does apples to apples comparison. Because we are a structured database, we have over 3,000 attributes. So back on that previous slide with the USBC, it said there's sometimes 45 different attributes pulled in. We have over 3,000 unique attributes across our entire database. So it's a lot of data, but what's nice is they're all organized. So if you want to see something, you'll be able to see all the different types of data across a simple grid, no matter how many products you want to put into a comparison. We'll do that in the live demo. Product analysis can be done for LEED at a product level or a project level. Embedded in our tool, we have some ROI analysis for energy and water calculators based on Energy Star and WaterSense. You can do project level documentation that I'll share with you guys. You can also have a project management dashboard. If you have an account on our site, they'll actually show you the impact that you've had on all the projects you've put in the system. And you can make as many projects as you want. So there's no limit. You could have 100 projects in there evaluating against every version of LEED. We don't ever get tired. I always say ecomedes is like your free intern that'll never get upset if you give him or give her too much work. So the credits that we're going to cover today are in building design and construction. It's version 4.1 that we're going to cover today. And the credits that we're going to cover are materials and resources, environmental product declarations up to 2 points, sourcing of raw materials up to 2 points, material ingredients up to 2 points, and indoor environmental quality, low emitting materials up to 3 points. So when I was back as a faculty member, I would spend probably about an hour talking about these credits and telling people how to go get the data, how to find it. What I'm going to show you today is a complete automation of all of that work. So you'll be able to see how that math works. So in the Verified for LEED program, what the USGBC and the GBCI have already done is actually they've piloted this idea with 427 products. So they're in finishes, furnishings, construction materials, and doors and windows. 15 manufacturers participated, and essentially they've already done the homework for you. The brand gave the GBCI team the info. If you click on our site and click Verified for LEED, you'll automatically be given all these products over. When they're in our system, we also have a little green ribbon around what we call the baseball card. So you'll know that these products have verification for LEED automated. And you can take a look at this product because it's already been reviewed by the GBCI, the Green Business Certification Institute, which is the certification arm of the USGBC for credit compliance. And all that stuff will be summarized in a single sheet of paper. And we can cover that when we do the live demo. We'll show you how those product data points go. And it's in addition to all the other data that we have on behalf of that manufacturer. First credit in materials and resources is tied to the environmental product declarations. Many of you guys have heard the acronym EPD. The process is you have to find at least 20 differently permanently installed products sourced from at least 5 different manufacturers that meet one of the disclosure criteria below. So a life cycle assessment or environmental product declarations to a certain type, either product specific type 3, industry-wide specific, industry-wide type 3, those are worth 1 point. If you have conforming declarations of EPDs to ISO and EN standards, then you can get up to 1.5 product worth. So you're trying to get to 20 different permanently installed products. Some products will count a little bit more than one product. I know it's funny. I don't know if environmentalists should be making math up, but it's really hard to kind of track this. But don't worry, the database that we have completely will do this math for you. I'll show you in the live demo, but we'll go out and find the products that have this type of EPD. And when you ask for the calculation to be done by the platform, it'll know that it's worth 1.5 products, even though that doesn't seem quite right in terms of math standards. And then if you actually optimize your embodied carbon or your LCA, you can actually get an additional point. So if you have products that have been optimized around their LCA or EPD, and you use at least 5 permanently installed products that have this kind of optimized EPD, you can get up to 2 points for that. So the first one is just having the product will be worth 0.5 point, then 1 point, then 1.5 points, then 2 products. all worth it based on this whole total of getting to 20. So it's a little bit confusing, but don't worry that the platform will do this documentation for you. So the way that ecomedes grabs this data is it already has two gigantic databases, one of EPDs and LCAs, and there's about 33,000 products already that have met one or more of those criteria. So we not only know that it's an EPD or it's an LCA, but we'll also know what kind of EPD or LCA it is. So we can give you either half a point of contribution all the way up to 2 if it's an optimized one. What's nice is once you find those data sets as a starting point, those 30,000 or so products, you can then further filter by category or subcategory. Like, I only want to see the flooring EPDs because that's what I'm working on this week, or I want to see furniture, I only want to see drywall, or I only want to see ceiling tiles. All of that's available to you. We'll start out with the largest amount of search results, and then you can go by CSI division. You can even refine by the type of EPD. It could be industry-wide, product-specific, and then you can even just type in the brand name, and it'll just show you every brand product from, say, Interface or Herman Miller or Tarkett, right in the top of the search results. So as you refine the search on the left-hand side, less and less results will happen on the screen. And next to all the different filters, you'll see parentheses. That's how many total products live within that subset of the results. So if you wanted to see all the EPDs, but then you clicked another filter like HPD or Living Product Challenge, then the 33,000 will then curate back down to like 178 for the example of a Living Product Challenge product. So it's all automated for you. Some products have really good pictures and descriptions. Some products just have the fact that the EPD is there, but it's a huge time savings. About 90% of the hassle is going out on a scavenger hunt for finding this data. And we automate all of that along with the documentation. The next credit that we're going to talk about is materials and resources under the sourcing of raw materials credit. So there's 2 points available here. This is based on cost. So you have to not only know that the product data is around for that product, like expended producer responsibility, bio-based materials, USDA bio-preferred, FSC, material reuse or recycled content. You then have to evaluate it against cost. So when you build a project, I'll show you, you select the product, you put in the quantity, the unit price, and then we'll evaluate whether or not you've gotten the total dollar amount of contribution based on the data requirements. So here it's total dollar amount. If it's compliant, then those dollar percentages will count towards a 15 or a 30% threshold in the system. Same kind of idea as the EPDs. We have bio-preferred, the entire database from USDA bio-preferred is in our system. We have FSC products and we have recycled content. Soon we'll have a lot more recycled content. We're going to be the backbone for the new EPA recycled content database soon. So you'll have thousands of products from the EPA's recycled content database available to you for use inside of this platform. Again, you can further refine it, look by category, subcategory. I'm looking for chairs, I'm looking for flooring, I'm looking for countertops, I'm looking for paint. All that stuff that has one or more of these responsible sourcing data points are in here. Automatically, that will be resulted to you, and then you can further refine it however you'd like on that credit. The next credit is about material ingredient disclosure. So how we want to go after this, similar to EPDs, we're going to have to go get 20 different products permanently installed in the project from at least 5 different manufacturers. And there's a wide range of data scavenger hunt elements that you have to go out for this. ANSI BIFMA, which we have, Cradle to Cradle, Declare, Facts, Global Green Tag, Health Product Declarations, Living Product Challenge, Manufacturer Publicly Available Inventories, and then also Product Lens Certification. So a wide variety of data you might have to go out and grab. Again, all this data, again, the same database is available to you. So you can look for EPDs, you can look for that producer responsibility, you can even look for some of these declarations of materiality. ANSI BIFMA, there's 4,000 choices there. Cradle to Cradle, 832. Material Health is 16. Declare has over 9,400 products in the system. HPDs, we have 33,000 as of last poll. And then Living Product Challenge is 135. Again, what's cool is you can go find all this data without having to go to those other websites. The other thing is if that product detail is going to live at the certificate level at other refinements, like Cradle to Cradle has bronze, silver, gold, you can actually refine. If you were to click C2C down below, you'll see here C2C level, and we'll show that in the live demo. You can actually go and say, I only want Cradle to Cradle gold products. And then again, further refine it by category, CSI division, brand. I'm not sure the demographic of the trainees today, but sometimes the architects only focus on certain product categories. Construction managers might have a little wider berth. or interior designers will only focus on the finishes. You can find the product categories as another layer of refinement if you guys are looking for a specific type of product. Again, all there to make your life a lot easier. And then the last element in materials and resources would be material credit ingredient optimization. Some of the same things are being asked for, but now we're looking to refine that and optimize it. So cradle to cradle material health certificates, declare HPDs, reach optimization or a PhD verified from Global Green Tag. Again, those data sets that are available, we've pulled those already in for you. So then you can find all the stuff at C2C, declare, HPD, and Living Product Challenge, all available to you. Again, all this information is updated from those sources on a monthly basis. So there's always things being added to the system. Sometimes the certificates expire. Those things will get rolled off the system. You'll always have the freshest data available. Again, a huge list of environmental certifications and eco labels available to you in the left-hand navigation. You can also double dip. You can actually say, I want to look at products that are comprised of multiple certifications. That also will be able to be done by you. Just check as many of these boxes as you want, and then the sort will resort itself again for you. And the last credit we'll talk about is under indoor environmental quality. Here you're looking for interior elements of the building, everything within the waterproofing membrane that have low emitting criteria. And this credit calculation is a little bit convoluted. It'll look at product categories, and everything within those 2 product categories, or 3 or 4 or 5, must meet the low emitting standards defined by the next slide. So here you can go after almost 3 points plus exemplary performance if you've exceeded 5 product categories in the building that all meet the thresholds that they've required. And those could be VOC limitations to the California Department of Public Health, their standard 2017, which we have in our system, VOC content evaluations, no urea formaldehyde added. And then within certain product categories like paints and coatings and others, there's specific rules, whether South Coast Air Quality Management District Rule 113 or South Coast Air Quality Management District Rule 1168. Within there, you just have to identify the product categories you're looking at and how many of those products have met those criteria. And the same thing in our system, BIFMA level is one of the criteria. UL Green Guard Gold and SES or Advantage Gold are all available as off-gassing, which is part of the low emitting materials. You can actually see those databases. I think we have like 96,000 total products available for you to choose from. Again, all this data is being refreshed on a monthly basis. And if you ever need to see the certification data with one click, I'll show you in the live demo, you go right to the certificate. So it takes about 18 clicks on each one of these data sources down to 1 or 2 clicks, plus it gives you the documentation right there live in the system. So I will stop here and see if anyone has any questions. Raise your hand, unmute yourself, ask the question before we go into live demo. I'd love to cover anything that you might want more clarification on. I'll give everybody a couple minutes. Not all at once. It's so hard to do a presentation in webinar mode. I don't know if you guys are listening or sitting in a hammock somewhere enjoying yourself. So I don't see any questions coming in. I will open it up to the live demo. Again, all I'm doing is going to materialsforleed.ecomedes.com. It's a free tool that you guys are allowed to use as much as you want. This is what the site looks like if you were to go there. I'm going to show you how to sign up. You just have to type in your email address and your password. We don't share it with anybody. We're not going to spam you guys. We just want to know what your name is and your password so we can give you a little spot on the server to keep your work. So you can sign up and do your work very simply just by giving us that email address and password. Hit continue. You'll know that you're logged in and you have an account if your name pops up in the upper right-hand corner. So here it says Paul Shariari, so it knows who I am. And I'm going to start kind of in reverse and show you why that's so important. And one of the things I'm most proud about this platform is that I used to never be able to answer the question of, well, how much does all this consulting you do, how much of an impact does it have? What does it actually do? And what's nice is if you have an account with us, we'll actually track 2 big numbers right now. We're going to be adding some more this year, like carbon and other things, but it gives me the total amount of kilowatts and the total amount of gallons that all the projects that I'm working on right now in this URL are going to potentially save the owner or the client, or if you work for your own building owner, it's yourself. So it converts those gallons and watts to dollars and cents. So in energy savings, it's worth $520,000 to my building project owners. and for water, it's 81,000. So it does the math for you. And every one of the projects that I've ever built in here, it's going to track all the product data. So what's really cool, and again, I'm showing you in reverse, we'll end with this when we do the demos. You can build a project, type in some information about it, and then go grab data from lots and lots of different sources and have all of it be able to be put into, price and quantity. So here's one I forgot to put in the quantity for, put in a price. And just that quickly, you can always delete a slide, add one, but this is all the data underlying this product detail. So it's not just a pretty picture. I'm gonna click on one of these names. I'm grabbing all of this technical data, including all these other hyperlinks to other certifications. And the system's really, really smart in that it knows all the data that underlines all these products. It's going to tell me what the water savings would be if I ran this project, out 10 years. But the really cool thing down at the bottom is it'll evaluate against any known LEED, especially for this site, any known LEED rating system that I want to evaluate. So it's going to take essentially all these products at these prices and quantities, and it's going to evaluate as if you had a free consultant ready at your beck and call. And just to put it in perspective, this used to take me about 2 weeks when I used to do this as a consultant. It took me about 2 seconds. So now it's going to give me a $9 million order. It's going to take a look at all the product data from all those different sites, rack it, stack it against every version of LEED that I chose in that dropdown, and tell you exactly how those products contributed or didn't contribute at a project level. And then down below, all the cut sheets of all those products that I used are also going to give you all that data again, and then how that specific product supported LEED, and give you the actual homework assignment. So it contributes as one product because it has an EPD. It contributes as $136,000 because it was 4% post-consumer and 56% post-consumer. It was $637,000 worth of optimization because it's green screen with a full complement. And here it had a living product challenge, red list approved, so it contributes as 1 point. So all that homework is done for you by the tool. And again, it's free. You can download this PDF. And if you need to share that with somebody, you can have that entire PDF of like all the homework backup that you might need if you're supporting a LEED online submission. So I see a question, so I'm gonna grab that. Are you requirements are in the platform, but you would have to go to our products.ecomedes.com platform. There, it's our uncurated version. This version, Materials for LEED, is just to support USGBC, which is one of our clients. Here, you can actually look at any product that's USGBC aligned, well aligned, IFLI aligned, or green building, GBI aligned for green globes. So that's that. I can send you guys a URL after the call to the main product platform. So I'm going to start back at the beginning. If anyone has any questions on just that kind of overview, I'll be happy to stop here and answer that before we go any further. I don't see anybody talking yet. All right, so we'll get started. So I talked to you guys about verified for LEED. So here, with this filter at the very top, you click that button and you'll get the 438 results that are verified for LEED. So I'm just going to jump into the first tile here. You can click on this one product, and here's all that information from human scale. It's a different world chair. It's under seating. It's a subcategory as classroom and task. And there's lots of other little hyperlinks. Wherever we can, we'll send you to their corporate social responsibility report, their environmental advocacy URL, a product page. So a lot of our products are going to send you right back to the product page so you can learn more about this product from the manufacturer. Again, we're just trying to do the LEED and kind of green documentation. They do a much better job of the rest of their website than we do. So we send you there. The verified for LEED summary sheet, if you click on this external link, you'll then see this sheet, and this was prepared by the GBCI and date stamped and time stamped for all the data that they reviewed. So every segment that we covered in those credits in detail, all that stuff is actually broken out. They've identified that detail is there, and they've even created a documentation ID for that one element. If you wanted a level certificate for this product, you can click on level and you'll go right to that certificate for human scale at the level certification stand. HPD, same thing. Again, I talked to you guys about how this scavenger hunt saves you about 18 clicks. These are all 18 clicks that are automated completely for you, so you don't have to go and hunt all this information down. What's nice about this is that all that data is also characterized in our system. So we know that if the data exists and that certification exists, then that data could be aligned with something like a LEED credit, a WELL credit, an LBC credit. So not only do we show you that all that substantiated data is there, when you hover over it, like this one right here, I've stopped, it says SCS 4/6/2022. So on the 6th of April, this data was updated by SCS. This data was updated by Human Scale. This data was updated by ToxNot. This data right here was updated by HPDC directly. And this data was updated by the certifier that did their level 3 certification. All of them were on different times. So you can imagine like an on-ramp of data. These external links all come in and they're refreshed on a monthly basis if they need to be updated and changed. So that's how that works. If I did want to just evaluate this one product against any of the versions of LEED, you can go in here and do that at the onset and be able to pull that data down. But because they're on the site, everything on the site is already automatically evaluated to those guidelines. So if you go scroll down through here, you can look at paint, same thing, it's verified for LEED, slightly different data sets. There's an EPD, there's a UL Green Guard certificate, a UL Green Guard Gold certificate, and again, the LEED summary is available to you right there with one click. So the LEED verification on the upper left-hand corner is a nice way. It's a beta. I think they're going to run this test a little bit longer. Hopefully more manufacturers will participate, but it should be a really good program to kind of take a look at it. Another way to search the platform is right by LEED rating system and down to the credit. So if you're doing a LEED 4.1 B, D, and C, you're doing a new construction project, and you're looking for products that are MR credit compliant, there's 59,000 of them to choose from. If you click a specific credit that you might be hunting for, you can actually click on one. It'll further refine it so it's MR credit 4 compliant. And then you can look at these category dropdown and find things, say maybe finishes that you're looking for. Subcategories will appear. And if you were looking for, say, acoustical ceiling tiles, it'll then show you all the acoustical ceiling tiles. The first result will always be a verified for LEED documentation sheet if they have one. And then the rest will all be basically sorted by popularity. So if I wanted to see how this product compared to this USG product, and then I'll find another branded product in here from another manufacturer. Maybe I'll just add this other one, maybe 2 from one and 1 from the other. So here, if I click on comparison, this is where I get to do that apples to apples comparison. It'll show me all the information that I have, who has what information. There's a lot of general information, product page links. One has a verified for LEED documentation summary, and the rest have all their data side by side. All of them are LBC approved. All of them have an HPD. One has a living product challenge certification. One gives us recycled content data, and then the rest of them all have green guards. So this is a really nice way to see within a product catalog from a similar manufacturer or from a manufacturer that might have gone above and beyond and given us a little bit more data. In this case, this one has living product challenge certification, recycled content data, and I think they have a LEED summary sheet. So that was the 3 things that are kind of different than the other ones that we had. But a really simple way, if you're on a desktop, I think you can get up to 6 comparisons side by side. If you're on a smaller screen, you probably 3 or 4 is all you can get. What's nice about this certification evaluation is you can actually grab the URL. And if you want to share that with people, I'm going to put that in the chat for everyone. If you wanted to ever share that out, you could actually share that URL, and then anyone else that clicks on it will be able to see it. So a lot of young designers are using that kind of as a little productivity tool. They need to get some feedback from everyone. They just share out the results or their of their comparison, and then they can kind of talk about it live on Slack or something like that. So we're working to make that a little bit easier in the future to make it a little easier to go through. But that's one way to look at it from the rating system perspective. If you want to reset the platform, just click on the logo in the upper left-hand corner. It'll reset all the filters. Another way to look at it is just by looking at things in a certain category. So if I was going in here and looking for, say, construction materials, and then I wanted to go into, say, drywall and gypsum. So I'll go down here to wallboard, drywall, and gypsum. I click on that. And instantly, what's nice is we'll also show you, if you go down here and click on the certification of the eco labels, I'm now only showing you what's in construction materials under this subcategory. And I can really quickly find out, and we've indexed all the different registries. I know that there's 4 products on C2C's website that can be validated, 3 on Declare, 28 products in EPD, 25 on HPD, 4 with Indoor Advantage Gold, and 38 that are UL Green Guard certified. So really quickly, if I just want to see only the ones for C2C, maybe that's one of the things I'm chasing after. I know that these are the 4 manufacturers that have C2C certified gypsum and wallboard. If I unclick that, I can say, well, how many of them have an EPD? So there's 28 that have an EPD. Well, which brands have an EPD? I can click here and see the USG has the ones with the 28 brands that have an EPD. If I go back and do health product declarations, it'll show me that there's 4 brands that have product declarations. And it still shows me that there's other products that have additional data. So if I click into the USG, 23 of those products actually are going to have a Green Guard certificate as well. And then if I click on the product detail, I see the Green Guard certificate, the EPD, and the HPD. Right now, if you want to go find this on your own without a tool like this, you'd have to go to the EPD website, you'd have to go to the HPD website, you'd have to go to the UL Green Guard website to go grab all that. We've already put it all together for you and put it in a nice little thing. And if I wanted to add that to a project, I showed you at the beginning, there's a training demo that I did. I could just hit save, and all this data is going to be transported over to my project. That's the bottom one here on the list. And now we'll go scrolling through here, and there's my USG product that I just added. And now it's added in the process, and I can just adjust the product quote and the amount of dollars, and then rerun my calculation if that's the thing I was maybe missing to get to the next level of certification. If I need to remove a rating system, I can just do it that quickly and then rerun the calculation. And now that new product and all the data associated with it will be put into here, and I'll have it available to evaluate whether or not it meets my guidelines, or it maybe help me bump myself over into the point because it has an EPD and HPDs available to it. So really flexible system. It can do a lot of things for you in terms of grabbing the data. The most powerful part of the system is just all this certification eco-label data. So this is asthma and allergy friendly, BIFMA level, biopreferred, cradle to cradle, Energy Star, EC3 embodied carbon, Green Label Plus, Floor Score, all the things that we're out on a scavenger hunt for, and I've certainly been for the last 22 years of my life. All this stuff is available to you with one click. So if you're looking for things that say maybe you had a healthier hospital compliance, you can go in here and then look at what categories of products carry that compliance. If you go to finishes, it'll further give you another subcategory and say ceilings or wall finishes. I want to look at ceilings. And then all the products that are healthier hospital compliant will be available to you. And you can take a look at grid or ceilings, and then it'll tell you which brands make those products. So there's a lot of flexibility in how the left-hand navigation can help you find the products that you need and then be able to support whatever project work you're doing. And even if you're doing something just as simple as a lighting retrofit for LEED projects and maybe an EV project that's existing buildings, you can actually just put a bunch of lights into a project that are from Energy Star and then evaluate all those lights on one ROI chart and see what the individual payback curve looks like for a light as opposed to a different light, as opposed to a different light. And all these tools are available to be adjusted as you need them. So if you had a 3-year developer project that needed to see a very quick ROI, all the data will be adjusted from kilowatts to dollars. And even if they said, I want to see a 1-year payback, you can show them that without a doubt, they'll have more money in the bank at the end of that 1 year by buying these individual lights. So all the data from these lights is automatically pulled in. You put in the price and the unit quantity, and then you'll have all that documentation. And if you want to say how it'll help with LEED, you can run the calculation and say, I want to know what the LEED documentation would be, and it'll comply with these 2 credits, the prerequisite and the optimized energy performance credit. So I'll stop there and answer any questions you guys might have. I'll put in the chat the products.ecomedes.com platform, which is the one that has the WELL certification if you want to check that out. Again, that's also free. You can have as many you have one ID, and then you can log into any of the ecomedes platforms that we've built along the way. I know it's Earth Week, so someone's got to have some question or a demo. Is there an example you'd like me to do? Just put that in the Q&A or chat. I'll be happy to go into an example for a specific project type or product type, category, certification. Are manufacturers that are LEED certified automatically added to the ecomedes website? A great question. So we basically add people to our system either one of 2 ways. Either they can be a client of ours, so we do organize data for manufacturers and large enterprise like Saint-Gobain and Certainteed. So we'll take their entire business unit and put in for Certainteed 900 products. So we manage all their data. So you can go to their website and find all the same documentation capabilities on their own site. So that's one way to do it. And then if one of our bigger buyer sites like US GBCI or the federal government one that we have called sftool.com ecomedes.com. If they require us to have eco labels as part of what we do for them, every single product that is in a certification registry will automatically be uploaded to our system. So to be on our platform, you don't have to be one of our customers. We have over 100 brand customers, and we have 10,000 brands on our system. So there's no like roadblock to getting your data on there. But if we only have your data because of a certification and we don't have anything else about your data, let me show you kind of the difference between a brand that is on our platform as a customer and one that isn't. The only big difference is that we'll have a lot more product data from somebody that's our customer. So I'll go in here and showcase that. So here, side by side, Tarket's a customer and Interface is a customer, but Armstrong Flooring is not yet a customer. We only have the certification data. We don't have all the other information they might have, like recycled content. If it's from a certification data set, we can grab it in there. But there's a lot of other data that I think most manufacturers should be presenting to buyers. And if it's only a certification lens, it's not enough data to really make a deep decision, but it's all in there. Can you show HVAC? Sure. So if you go in here, you go to category HVAC, and we have all the Energy Star data for HVAC. So if you go into subcategory, you can pick boilers, commercial water heaters, furnaces, geothermal heat pumps, light commercial HVAC. So if you click on one of these, you'll then get the 283 results that are all Energy Star certified. And then here you'll get a list of the brands, and then the parentheses will show how many products come in from them. So if you were looking at, say, Heal, and that was a brand you were looking at, then they would have the 10 results. And if you click on that, we'll display the data from Energy Star. And then if you hover over it, it'll tell you that we got it on the 12th of April. Where do you see certifications heading based on cost? For example, EPDs are more expensive than other ones. Yeah, so that's a great question. I think the marketplace is going to start deciding how many of these eco labels we can deal with. You know, when I first started out in ecomedes, we had 15 attributes and we had 6 eco labels. That was it. We now have 3,000 attributes and over 80 different eco labels. And we do a lot of work with the EPA through our work with the GSA. And they have 480 total eco labels that are active in North America for products. Not all construction products, 480, but there's 480 eco labels that exist for products of all different product categories. I think we're at saturation. There's a lot of data here. I think some will become more valuable than others. I do see the trend to where carbon is important. So EPDs and LCA and embodied energy is important. The same way health and human health after COVID has become an important criteria. So a lot of these can be aligned with one or more of those things. Third one I would watch would be circularity. So EPDs and LCAs and carbon, human health, I think is really important. And circularity seems to be one of the top 3 kind of segments of growth in that section. But I do agree that they're expensive. That's why we're saying, let's make at least the hunt for that expensive certification a lot easier with ecomedes. We're really proud of helping hundreds of project teams a day find their data quickly, get it done, package it up, and evaluate against one or more eco labels and rating systems. Any other questions? These have been really good. Feel free to unmute yourself. I'd love to hear a live human being on this end of the screen, because I can't see you guys. I just see a couple static pictures, but I can't hear anybody. So hopefully I'm not putting you all to sleep. If you do know the brand, just to show you, you can just type in like USG and you'll have a brand logo pop up underneath here. You can just hit that and then you'll see their entire catalog of LEED compliant products. So that's another, I wouldn't call it a hack, but it's another way of looking at how you can see products, all their eco labels that we have in the system on behalf of USG as a brand, and we have them in building finishes and construction materials. So if you clicked on building finishes, you then would get a subcategory and even a product type. So again, what's really nice and powerful about this is we have this display, it's called an index. It'll tell you how many products are in grids and trim and underlayment and composite panels and ceilings and acoustical ceiling tiles. So you're still keeping the USG filter, but now you're just kind of drilling down into like, what kind of acoustical ceiling tiles? Acoustical drywall, ceiling tiles and panels, integrated ceiling systems. And again, all the certifications are going to constantly be changing. So if I click acoustical drywall, now suddenly the only certifications left are UL Green Guard. If I undo acoustical drywall, all their certifications pop up. So there's a lot of really good ways to look at this and be able to find and drill down into stuff that really matters to you. Because I saw the registration list and there's a diverse group of what you guys do for a living. So just know that we're more than welcome to do a demo for you guys or a kind of a training for your team. I will send a follow-up to this with the slides and the video. And if you need to contact me, I'd be happy to set up a 30-minute demo for your firm. If you're doing a project kind of charrette, I'd be happy to show the entire team how to use it. Our mission is to make sustainability so much more simple that everyone can do it on every project. And there's definitely something in our platform that you can go find, even if it's not going after LEED, but it wants to be LEED adjacent, LEED aligned, whatever you want to call it. These are really good, amazing, high performance products that you should be putting into every project. Many of them have no differential in terms of cost at all. And they're from some of the biggest, best brands in the world. So we'd love to support your guys' projects in any way. And again, if you're not just doing LEED, just go to products.ecomedes.com. That's just our main site without any curation, without any kind of filtration. And this is just going to be everything from every eco label, from every certifier under the sun, every eco label, every brand. There's no like litmus test to be able to be on this study, other than you have to have a certification in eco label that's referenced by either the federal government's buying standards or one of the 4 major rating systems. So you have all that available to you. Again, it's free. Make your site. You can make as many projects as you want. And on this site, you know, I've got projects that will save 64 billion gallons of water and save owners $857 million over the course of that horizon. So it's a real nice summary. A lot of people call it their like green CV, all your projects, how many products, how many units of those products, total cost of the project. The impact will be a little icon, watts and water, estimated savings for the owner, and then whatever standards you've evaluated that project against will be listed there for you. So this is a really nice kind of a summary of all the stuff you're doing and kind of be really proud about all the hard work you guys do every day making projects more sustainable. So love to help you guys out. And our team would love to know more about how we can help you. So any suggestions after this, feel free to email me and I will send you guys all the deck stuff that you need, including a recording and the CEU. I know you guys probably need this to submit. So that would be part of the email that you guys get later on today or tomorrow. All right, I'm going to give you guys back 15 minutes of your hour. If you have any one-on-one questions, please send them to me, call me, text me. Love to help you guys out. Have a great rest of your Earth Week, everyone, and go green.